So Rotom-Heat, he has 50 health, 65 attack. He has good defense and special defense at 107, 105 special attack, and 86 speed. The only bad thing about him, he's really low health. So like he has high defenses, or he's like above average defenses, but his health is so low that like it really limits him. But one thing that makes Rotom really special is he's like Eevee in a way, to where he has a bunch of different forms. Like there's regular Rotom here, and then there's the Heat, Wash, Frost, Fan, and Mow forms, and each of them are all electric, and then whatever typing of the thing he becomes. So like Heat is fire, Wash is water, Mow is grass, Fan is flying, which is probably the worst one, Frost is ice. And they all get signature moves when he transforms, or when he transforms into certain ones, he gets signature moves. But pretty much, and you take them to an appliance and he changes into it. But each one has a signature move. Heat has fire, Heat has overheat, Wash has hydro pump. I think Frost has blizzard. Fan has air slash, which I think fan air is the worst because it has it's flying and electric, so it also has levitate, which is counterintuitive. And then air slash is not a good move. And I think grass has leaf storm. I'm pretty sure grass has leaf storm. I'm pretty sure it has leaf storm. But Heat Rotom is probably the best one with. I think Heat Rotom's the best. Probably second. Yeah, I'll say he's the best. But he's about. Wash is okay. Between him and Wash are the best. But Heat Rotom's only weakness. He's weak to rock and water, but he's immune to ground. He would have a 4 times weakness to ground if they have Mold Breaker or anything like that. Then ground is 4 times effective, but because of levitate, he's immune to ground. But he has a lot of resistances: flying, ice, bug, fairy, steel, fire, grass, and electric. So there's a lot of resistances, and he only has 2 weaknesses if they don't have Mold Breaker or whatever. If they don't give her the ground weakness. But like, as long as they don't have like Mold Breaker, you're fine. But the main way Rotoms normally run is just Choice Scarf, and then either 4 moves, or replace either Shadow Ball or Dark Pulse with Trick. And the plan is you just outspeed with Choice Scarf, and you 2-shot them pretty much. Or you outspeed and you trick them. You either trick a slower Pokemon into being stuck into a move to where Scarf doesn't matter, or you trick a setup into just being forced to use setup moves. So then you get just free hits over and over. You can switch or whatever, and you force him to switch either way. So that's the main way. He does good damage too with those, but that's the main way to run Rotom, is to do this. Because you can take a hit. Like, Rotom's bulk can take a hit even with no investment. Another way, like I said, you can place one of these moves, pretty much Shadow Ball or Dark Pulse. Probably Dark Pulse, because of the Fairy and fighting resistance. But either one was Trick. But you can also run Trick. If you want to run just I guess another way to run Choice Scarf is just Trick. This one is just mainly you just want to Trick. But you Trick them, and then you Will-O-Wisp, and then Hex. Is the main. Like, you Trick, you get rid of it, you take their item. Especially, this is more for a bulkier one. You can a bulky physical attacker. Trick, Will-O-Wisp them, so you take no damage. And hopefully you get them stuck. Or if you know they have a lot of physical attackers, you can Trick. Then they're forced to switch if they use setup or whatever. And you can Will-O-Wisp whatever comes in, and then Hex does double damage because they have Will-O-Wisp. They're burned, plus they do half damage if they're physical. And if not, just Thunderbolt. Hopefully you can take a good item with this. Just max speed only because you want the Trick to go off before they get a chance to do something, especially if they're setting up like a Shell Smash, Cloyster, Poltergeist, whatever. You want to guarantee that you go first. They're not really a threat. You don't have to run, actually. Timid, you could run Modest. Because there's not many things that you have to worry about outspeeding. Unless you're trying to go against like a Sash. Unless you're worried about like a Sash nasty plot from something really fast. You don't really need the speed, but it wouldn't hurt. Just as like a safety net type thing. Another one, if you want to this is just a physical tank Rotom-Heat, which is just health, defense, and just pain split. Pretty much you want to Will-O-Wisp them. You're going to take the hit with these. Most hits won't. I would say Citrus Berry, just in case. Most hits won't put you over. You could also run the 1/4 berries, like the Aguave in them. But I would say Citrus, just in case the hit does like 50%. There's like 51% or something like that. But you could also run Aguave, because at the same time, they'll hit you. You'll Will-O-Wisp. I would say Citrus, because you'll hit you. Hopefully they hit you with like 40%. You Will-O-Wisp. Now they're doing no damage, and then you pain split. I don't know. It's just It's priority because you don't want the berry to activate and then you pain split and then you give them health or you barely get any health back, but whatever. You just want to take the hit Will-O-Wisp so they do no damage against physical attackers. And then you Hex Thunderbolt again. They switch in, you take the hit, you pain split to get some health back, and then you can either Will-O-Wisp or Thunderbolt depending on how much health you have. But that's why I said the Aguav Berry would be really good here, just depending on how the health goes, because you can still take a special hit, but not as well. But that's why I say Aguav Berry, because you can take out the first one and then get hit, and the Aguav Berry could activate, and then you could Will-O-Wisp and get the half their attack or whatever. But that's really tanky. Like, he's really bulky. Like, he can survive like Conqueror. If he doesn't have guts, like he's not. Physical attackers aren't that great. Like, as long as you're just not a Haxorus or a, because Haxorus is Mold Breaker and Earthquake one-shots you pretty much, so it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Plus having a Lone Berry. But or Guts Conqueror causes a problem. But yeah, as long as it's not a, as long as they don't have Mold Breaker or anything like that, or Guts, like you take the hit. Like, this is close combat from 140 Adamant. Even with Life Orb, I'll give him the Life Orb. And like, it's still not gonna do anything. Like, even with Life Orb, 30%. He does like 30. He does somewhere in the 30s pretty much. You take the first hit, then you burn. Oh, that's with the burn. Hold on. Without the burn, does 60 to 70. He procs the berry. Then you burn him. As long as Will-O-Wisp doesn't miss. If Will-O-Wisp misses, you're in trouble. But if it doesn't miss, take the hit. You take the 2 hits, and then you can KO them. They come in with the next one. As long as it doesn't one-shot you, as long as you have enough health. Like, he outspeeds too, so you'll get the burn off before Conqueror even attacks. Haxorus outspeeds, but anything else outspeed actually? Haxorus outspeed. Darmanitan is just a problem straight up. He will just. Well, Darmanitan is actually not a problem. Actually, Darmanitan's a problem. Well, Conqueror, as long as Conqueror doesn't have rock or Stone Edge or something, because that'd be a problem. But Darmanitan's just a problem. As long as it's not, they don't have rock. A lot of physical attackers have rock, but if they have one that doesn't have rock, you're fine, pretty much. You'll take the hit. And then there's special Rotom-Heat, which is max special defense, Assault Vest. And you can run the special defensive nature, but you don't need it. But the plan is just you run 4 offensive moves, Assault Vest. You take the hit. You pretty much take 2 hits, you KO. Depending on what they come in, switch in with, you can take a 3rd hit and do more damage and then get KO'd. So, like, you get a 1+, whatever. Like, against Chandelure, for example, with 145 special attack. Well, Timid in this case, but Specs. You can survive 3 Shadow Balls. So, it Shadow Balls you. You eat the hit. You hit back. You'll pretty much. You can take any special attacker and take them out, pretty much. Like, this is a Specs. This is Spec Chandelure. So anything that's not this strong, you can take probably 4 hits. Like, if it's not Specs, for example, you should be able to take 4 hits. I didn't actually check, but you should be able to. Yeah, you can take 4 hits from it. You have a high chance to... Yeah, you can have a chance to survive 5 hits, actually. So if it's anything that isn't Specs, super powerful, you can survive. I mean, it's not modest, but at the same time, it's actually timid, because if it wasn't... Well... If it wasn't timid, it would still speed you because it has a speed investment. But you can survive a lot of hits. Like, you 2-shot it and it 4-shots you with a chance of 5-shotting you. Like, you can survive a lot of hits with this Rotom. And so, like, if they have a special hard-hitting special attack, you just bring in Rotom and he takes them out pretty much. And especially if they don't have full health, if they have like 50% health, Rotom takes the hit and KOs them. Then they switch in another special attack, Rotom and take a couple hits. But also, these are some of the other moves Rotom learns. Defog. I wouldn't really run it. I would say just run a Rapid Spinner, especially because it raises speed now. Rapid Spin's way better than Defog, because Defog also gets rid of your own, which doesn't really matter if you're not running it, but I would say Rapid Spin because you're actually gaining something from it. If you can threaten a Nasty Plot with like a berry, that would work and it'd be really good. But like, because you can even see with this one, this is with no special attack investment, just a nature. He 2-shots a lot. So if you Nasty Plot, for example, like even with this, you Nasty Plot, oh, you 1-shot now. That's with no investment. So if you throw an investment, and Chandelure has 60 health and 90 defense, which isn't bad, which is most things you can take out. They're not bulky. But plus you put investment into that, like, it's really good. The only problem is if Rotom gets outsped. Like, that's the only thing about Nasty Plot. If Rotom gets outsped, then it's like, okay, cool. I get the Nasty Plot, I take you out. You switch in something faster and KO Rotom. Doesn't matter. It also learns Light Screen and Reflect, but I think there's better ones like Grimmsnarl. Anything with Prankster is better with the Light Clay. Also Confuse Ray if you want to run it, but But that's Rotom-Heat. That's Rotom-Heat. He can do a lot of things. He's really good. I think between him and Wash just has less weaknesses, but Heat has the Overheat and the Fire typing, which is better offensively. But that's Rotom. Hope you enjoyed.